What is going on, everybody? Bryce McKinley, Coach Sharpen. You know what time it is. Hey, it's Thursday. And if you're in my academy, you already know every Thursday we have a Q&A. So if you're not in my academy and you're watching this on the replay because you're probably not getting the notification live yet this quick, thank you for jumping in. Once a month, I open this call up for everybody in all of my groups, and this is it. This is your opportunity to jump in live, ask questions, role play, and heck, if we run out of Q&A, we can actually call some of your deals and talk to some of your sellers, buyers, whatever you need for my team or I. So, yeah, with that said, happy Thursday, y'all. I see Josh is on here, Bernie's on here, Vic's on here. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. If you guys are watching this and you're not a part of our group, there is a link in the event inside of the virtual wholesaling tips and techniques group, but I'm also going to put it inside of this live stream. So that way you can see this and you can jump in here live with us. So I'd love to see you. I'd love to answer any questions that you might have. What's up, Maria? What's up, Kelly? I see you guys. Jump in here live with us if you are able. And let's get this party started. So we've got 3 of you guys on here now, and I appreciate that. I know more are coming. In the meantime, I'm curious. Josh, I haven't seen you in a while, man. I'm curious, man. Tell me about some wins, brother. You've been grinding. You're looking good. You got a nice tan. You've been outside. Yeah. Man, how you been, brother?
I've been good. Man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while. I just kind of jump on when I've got a deal in the works, and yeah, some deals. I feel like the economy, things kind of hit pause for a while, but things are starting to come back, and I'm getting more phone calls, more leads. And anyway, got a deal. I got 2 deals under contract that I'm trying to assign right now. And actually, I got it under contract, and I got the contract. I had to do snail mail because this lady didn't do DocuSign. And so I got the contract in the mail yesterday. I posted it on a Facebook group today and got a call within 5 minutes. And this guy wants it. This buyer wants it. So
congratulations, man.
Yeah.
Tell us about that waiting period. I'm curious. Sitting there, hurry up and wait on the USPS. Like, how did that feel? I've had to do that a few times.
Well, she refused to even check her email. She's like, I don't do email. And she's, 2-3 hours away. And so, yeah, she took about a week to send it back. And actually, when I first sent it, she never sent it back. It took like 3 weeks. I thought she didn't want to sign it, and it showed up in the mail. But then I asked for a reduction. We got her down a little bit, and I had to resend it. So this has been a couple months so far.
Wow. I'll tell you from experience, Josh, a mail turnaround on snail mail is pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's some great relationship building there. So if you guys are in the academy and you don't know Josh has been with us for quite a while. He's just been grinding. He's got a couple of missions that him and his wife do, and they serve couples and their spiritual walk and things like that. He's a part of this academy. He's not super active because he's busy. But man, Josh, I didn't see your text message earlier. I'm like, bro, if you're free, like jump in here with us. Thank you for being on this call, man.
It's perfect timing. I appreciate you. I appreciate that every time that I need a question answered, you're always available and willing. And so this Q&A worked at the perfect time, because I'm literally got to write an assignment contract tonight, and I've got a couple questions, and that's why I reached out.
Ooh, I can't wait. Well, hold on to them. Give us a couple of minutes here. Let other people get in. Graham, Spencer, Tommy, thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and click the link that's pinned down below and join us. I'd love to have you guys in here. Some of you guys have some great experience. Gazim, Wade, Vic, Bernie, who's got another win they want to celebrate with the Academy today?
Well, I don't know how much of a win it is, but Mama finally figured out Brandolin's system and how to load those leads into it.
That's a great win. That's
So
half
yeah,
the battle, getting those leads into a system to where you can strategically follow up with them and schedule contacts and make your notes and using it. I appreciate that. That's a huge win. Appreciate
yeah.
that. Wade, you got a win you want to celebrate. I can see it in your eyes. Or is that just the whiskey in the cup? No, I'm just kidding, brother.
No, it's getting close to cigar time. That's about a win.
Yeah. Hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Right?
Right?
No, that's cool.
Go ahead, brother.
No, it's all good. Just, I think that one of the most difficult damn parts of this friggin' business is trying to focus all this crap because it's coming in from 50 million different directions. It's like when you got a subscription to Propelio and you got a subscription to PropStream and you're pulling, the good thing is you can like compare the two, but it's like when you try and pull a certain type of list and you compare it against the other one and you get probate lists, you get those dedicated lists out of Propelio. That's good. So it's like you work those lists and then you're like, well, let's do PropStream and let's do this list. And I don't know. They're just too much. It's like being in a candy store.
Yeah.
And it sucks. You can't decide.
Yeah, completely understand that. And I appreciate you sharing that. And I know that if you're not a part of this academy and you're out there on your own doing it by yourself, you probably might be feeling the same kind of way, like overwhelmed, because there's so many options. There's so many different tools. I'll say this. My business partner said something profound. Her and I were talking on the phone earlier, and she said something pretty profound. She said, most people want to try and figure out all the different tools and systems that they can use, but they really should just focus on the process. And I was like, wow, that's very simple. And so I'm going to encourage anybody that's not a part of this, or maybe you are a part of this group and you're just overwhelmed with all the different options, so many different types of leads and so many different types of lists. And you could list stack them and compare them. And you could use this dialer and you could use this CRM and you could use this piece of marketing or that piece of marketing. Just trust the process. Trust the process. The systems will come as you scale, but the process never changes when you do it right. And so I appreciate you sharing that, Wade. Appreciate you sharing that. So one last shot. Anybody got a win they want to celebrate? Gazim, you took yourself off mute. You got something, brother?
No, I just wanted to say I got somebody who's going to be my boots in the ground in Houston. And, they basically, she took some pictures for me yesterday about a house they were looking to put an offer for. So that's kind of like a win, right? So
that's a huge win. Yeah, you got boots on the ground. You're in New York and you got people working for you in Houston, a freaking gold mine of a market. That's a huge win, man. Congratulations. I see you jumping in and out. Thank you for jumping in here. So let's open this up. This call is all about you guys. This call is for Q&A purposes. This call is for your guys' ability to like role play, get through and overcome some challenges. So let's get into the meat and potatoes, because this isn't about me. I like hearing those things, but I want to get you guys more wins, and I want to get you guys moving and moving that needle. So I know Josh has got some gold that he wants to ask about. So if you've got a question and you're not already in here, jump in with us. If you do have a question, make sure you write it down so you don't forget. Josh, you got an assignment you need to write this evening. Talk to me. What questions do you have about communicating that with the buyer? What you need to write? Like, what is your question, my friend?
Well, in general, I'm not real comfortable with the assignment process. For me, it's like a little bit confusing, and I feel like it's a real clunky process for me. I think getting contracts, filling out offers, getting purchase contracts, that's good. But with the assignment and the process and the steps, I feel like I'm still a little clunky on, as far as like, when do they, I send them the assignment. When is the close date? When is the earnest money due? Where? How long do they have to review the original? Everyone wants to see the original purchase agreement. And then, that whole process. And so maybe we can role play that. But the specific question I have is for this one is the buyer. wants in the assignment, he wants his earnest money contingent on a inspection. He wants to inspect the HVAC and the foundation, and he wants this earnest money refundable contingent on that inspection.
That was a great question. That's a great question. So, two things there. We'll do a deep dive into an overview. So not a deep dive, but we'll kind of overview the assignment process, but more pressing, earnest money contingent on HVAC and foundation being inspected. Is that correct?
Yes, it's basically he wants the language in there that says assignment of contract is contingent upon interior inspection of property by buyer. Earnest money is fully refundable until after this inspection.
So a couple of things come to my mind to help you out with this, and that is number one, is this a pretty reputable buyer? Have you worked with this buyer? Do you know this buyer? What does that relationship look like?
No, brand new to me. He's supposedly a realtor and an investor, and him and his brother buy houses and flip houses. And
that makes sense. No disrespect to you realtors out there. Little disclaimer, I own a brokerage. I understand how their minds work most of the time. And so, Josh, my answer, if that was a proposed to me or our disposition team in-house here for our wholesale company, I would have to ask him, how serious is he? How many homes does he buy? Like, is it something like, is he looking for major or minor work? Like, what is it that he's looking for? I'm going to be asking those questions, number one. Number two, I noticed that you had kind of read something. I assume maybe that was language that he emailed you, like, hey, go do this on there.
I asked him, I said, hey, what kind of language are you proposing I add to this? Send it to me. I don't want to just write something and then him say, no, that's not what I meant. So I said, what are you proposing? I didn't say I was going to definitely put it in there like that. You know, I'm personally, I'm not opposed to him going to look at the house. Of course, I think he needs to go look at the house. I just don't want it to take a lot of time. I don't want this thing to be locked up for days. I want to have like a yay or nay really quickly. And it was confusing to me. It's like, what do you mean contingent on the inspection? Contingent on the inspection, or the inspection coming back like you want it to? Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, completely understand. So here's my answer. It may not be the right answer, but this is what I would do. And I'm speaking from the experience that I've had. Like, you guys all know I'm notorious for saying I only work with people that are serious about working with me. And in a case like this, I would say, let's do this. I'll schedule a time that you can go over there. My sellers will be there, or maybe they won't. You meet them there and tell your sellers to go grab a bite, whatever that case is, however you feel comfortable. Before he locks it up and before he signs anything or puts earnest money down, I want him to go look at it. So that way, between now and that time, I can keep marketing that property. Number one. Number two, I also don't want it tied up, and I don't want title company, feeling as if they need to work on getting this deal done that's not going to go through. And they should be seeing. I don't disagree with that. Yeah, go see the property. I'm not interested in taking earnest money and having an option period on an end buyer because you're buying it as is. And I've already done that due diligence. I went and looked at the property. So if you don't trust me, but you trust yourself, get over there and take a look at it and make me an offer once you've done that. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to a buyer that's actually serious and done their due diligence up front. And that's how I pose that conversation. I'm just very firm and direct, because what happens is especially buyers that are realtors, they tend to put themselves on a pedestal. And that's just not the case. I don't need to work with you. I've got 20,000 other buyers in this market that may be interested, and I only need one. And so that's the position. That's kind of the character that I put on when I make that phone call, right? So that would be the first thing. The second thing is, if, and kind of backing that, right? Like, if this is a reputable buyer, this is a guy that you've worked with, let's say, and you've bought and sold 10, 15, 20 homes with this guy, and he's kind of 50-50, I would still tell him to go look at it, but I'm never going to tie up my assignment with a refundable earnest money deposit. I just would never do that.
Okay.
Okay. So it's a tough conversation to have.
Yeah.
However, I would definitely have it that way. I would never have earnest money. Now, on the front side of that, if you have earnest money on your contract, he has, okay, and I didn't think you would. That's the only time earnest money would actually come in, because otherwise it's not earnest money. It's just a non-refundable deposit that will be applied toward the principal of the full amount or your assignment fee or whatever. Okay. And I seen Wade took himself off mute, so I assume he's got kind of a second thing. So I want him to also talk, because I know he's dealt with this a few times, and then we'll come full circle and talk about the assignment process. So go ahead, Wade.
Yeah, that was the first deal that I ever did.
I thought so, yeah. I remember
First off, I was shitting bricks being my first deal. I have no clue how the hell any of this works. Secondly, it was the buyer had come in. I set up a time, scheduled like 5 different viewings of the same property back to back. And about the third one came in, he said, well, we'll give you this. And we went back and forth on the price, and then we agreed on a price. And he's like, well, I need to get my partner over here to take a look at it. And he wanted a contingency on the earnest money as well. And so he gave, what I did for him was because, and he was very forthright about the simple fact that his partner had a lot more experience than he did, and he kind of ran the cruise. So essentially I gave him a 48-hour inspection period. I mean, and that's all the further that I was going to do it. I mean, you get 48 hours and that's it. And that's only because I had to drive 50 miles to this other house. Now, you know, if it was in town, I'd give them 24 hours and they can make a decision. You know, so, but yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy writing that first contract saying that you will pay me $5,000. And it's like, is this guy really going to sign this? You know, and you know, because you're shaking in your boots and this is just new territory and everything else. And it's like, damn. So, yeah.
That's great feedback. So Josh, just know, and anybody watching this, like, you're not alone. We've all felt that way. I mean, heck, I'm used to selling cars prior to being in real estate, right? Like, I sold on payment or down payment. I never sold on the fact that the truck was $80,000 or, you know, the car was, you know, $50,000, right? So I never had to ask for that big dollar amount. So when I started, like, hey, I'm gonna be at 180,000 or 300,000 or 200,000 or whatever, it was overwhelming even for myself, you know. And so it just takes, you know, consistent practice, right? But yeah, at the end of the day, I like that idea of giving him that option. You know, hey, I don't know how far out you are from the property, but take 48 hours, go drive by it. The lockbox is on it. Here's the code, and make sure you put the key back in it. Or, you know, let me know a couple times at work for you, and I'll meet you over there and show you the property so you can do that yourself. But I'm not going to hold up the opportunities that I have because you want to go look at the property and tie up my contract at the same time. Just not going to do that. Does that make sense, Josh?
Yeah. So just so I'm clear, don't even bother with the assignment yet, because
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I got you.
No.
That makes
Go ahead.
I feel like that makes the most sense anyway, because they're buying it as is. What are we going to be talking about anyway? So like,
exactly. So I would go back to the dispo process. If you haven't already done that showing to marketed buyers, I would, excuse me, I would do that marketing out to your buyers, whether you've got a list and you're sending emails or you're doing Facebook groups or whichever way it is that you're doing. I would market that out to a specific showing. Like, you know, let me ask you this, Josh, when is your close date on this deal?
July 10th.
Oh, so you've got plenty of time. Plenty of time. what I would do is I would market that thing. Today's the 4th. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. So real quick, rule of thumb for everybody watching this, July 10th is a Friday. Moving forward, I would always do your closings Monday through Thursday, because if something crazy comes up, well, guess what? It's not going to get funded on Friday. It'll get processed on Monday and then get funded possibly on Tuesday.
Oh, man.
And you'll have a pissed off homeowner, and you could have a pissed off buyer because they don't have keys or whatever else. So, but that's real easy. That's no big deal because you can always close sooner, right? So you could reach out to your title company, Josh, be like, hey, I got a buyer, and talk to your buyer like, hey, can you close on the 7th or 8th, just in case something crazy came up last minute. But you've got plenty of time. I would tell the realtor like, hey, I've got 5 weeks till this thing has to close. So I've got plenty of time to market this out for higher and potential revenue. So if you'd like, we'll schedule a time next Thursday from 1 to 3. And I'm going to have a couple other buyers coming in and just do our silent auction, right? Take a pad and paper, name, address, or name, email, and phone number, and have them when they leave the house. You know, what'd you think? If you had to make an offer right now, would you give us 50,000 like we're asking, or even more? Yeah. And they usually laugh at that, right? and then, well, I'm thinking I'm coming in at, 48. Okay, 48, fantastic. Here's what I'll do. I got 3 or 4 more guys coming. I'll call you back later this evening and get this typed up and sent over to you. Yeah. And now you got 2 or 3 more guys that come in, and you've got 5 weeks. I would do my showing probably the 18th, that Thursday, or Friday the 19th. So you got 2 weeks of good marketing, and do a showing on Thursday and or Friday, or even Saturday if it works for your sellers. Get buyers in there and get more offers. And now they've walked the property, they've done their due diligence, and they don't need those types of situations. Does that help?
Yeah, it does. This one, in an ideal world, I would do that, but this one's a little stickier. This lady has her crackhead granddaughter squatting there. And so we're going to need to take some security over there with us even to go look at this place again. It was pretty sketchy the first time.
Oh, those are always fun.
We got pictures and all that, but to go do a showing, we're walking into a pretty sketchy situation.
Do you have the granddaughter's contact information?
No, I don't. We're going to have to just walk up to the door.
So I would go over to the door a little in advance, maybe the day before, and just be like, hey, I've got a couple guys that are going to come over tomorrow, and set that up that way, kind of pre-frame it, set the expectation. Like, it's no big deal. Just want to give you a heads up because we're going to be the new owners, the new landlords, whatever. And we want to get some inspections done and some bids and things like that on the foundation, HVAC, because that's what they're looking for anyways. So that way they know when you show up with 2 or 3 or 4 guys, or you're sitting out in the car waiting for your guys to show up, they're not spooked in the blinds getting freaked out because they're all strung out. It gives them a time to sober up or get out of the house.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny, but that's the world we live in, right?
Well, good thing it's not going to be me. It's going to be my boots on the ground. So that's
there you go. Make sure you take care of them and buy them lunch or something, brother.
Actually, we're splitting the deal, so they're getting taken care of really well. So
good. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would market it out for at least 2 weeks. I would do a showing Friday or Saturday, the 19th or the 20th, run buyers through there all at one time between an hour or 2 hours, and then follow up with them once you get their name, email, and phone number.
That makes sense. There's no reason to do an assignment if he's not. And we're gonna have to give the money back. I think it's just too much of a mess. So.
Yeah, and it really is. It really is. And that just makes the realtor feel good because that's what they're used to. And that's not the way that we do business, right? Like, we do the business the way that we want to do our business. You have that luxury.
Perfect. Yeah, that's very good. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. My pleasure. So stepping back, looking from a bird's eye view, we realistically covered the assignment process. So if you're new to wholesaling, or you maybe haven't gotten to that far yet, so Josh has got a contract. He did the marketing, a lid came in, he had a conversation, he got a contract. Now it's the assignment process and the disposition, the backside of this deal. Once you've got that first contract, Now you're going to want to take that contract and turn it into title, let them start working on it. And between now and the time that it's going to close, in this case, Josh has got, 5 weeks. That's great. Typically it's 2 to 3 weeks. As soon as you submit that contract into title, you start marketing it out. You start marketing, hey, I've got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-car garage, 1,200 square foot. ARV is 123. Estimated repairs is this. Do your own due diligence. And we're asking this. And we're doing a showing on, June 26th, whatever. And at that point, you just have that marketing run its course. Whoever is interested, they're going to put their email down below or respond to your email, however it is that you're marketing, whether it's an email campaign or Facebook, cash buyer groups, whatever that looks like, Craigslist, Zillow, if you've got a power of attorney, however that looks, they're going to inquire. So that step 2 of that backside, and marketing goes out step 1, step 2, those buyer leads are going to come in. Now you just qualify them. Hey, how many homes have you bought? Is this something that you're serious in, or is it just kind of something you're interested in? I can only work with people that are serious about working with me. So what time would you like to go see it? We're doing a showing on Friday the 26th from 1 to 3. Would you like to be there right at 1, or would you like to be there sometime in the middle? What works best for you? And set that call. Now your buyers are going to show up to your property. When you do, have that pad in your hand and do that silent auction, and then call them back. Now, once you've agreed and you've had a conversation with your 2 or 3 buyers that are serious, and you've come to a verbal agreement like, hey, I'm all in, you said you were asking 50, I'm all in at 48, that's where I'm at, and you guys agree you'll do 48, well then great. So write it up, send it over, they sign it, and I like to have 24 hours or less, like their non-refundable not earnest money, it's non-refundable deposit, whether it's $1,000 or $2,500 or $5,000, it's all up to you. I do $2,500 and $5,000. If it's 200,000 or below, I do 2,500. If it's 201,000, I do $5,000. Those are my non-refundables. And at that price point, they will do it if they're serious, and it goes into title, and they've signed that contract. If they decide that they want to back out, at least you have it in writing, and they owe you the $5,000, and that money goes back to you if they decide to back out. If they do move forward, that $5,000 is simply applied toward the final principal of what they end up paying for that house. So the process is pretty simple, in my opinion, but again, it can get overwhelming with all those micro steps and managing the marketing and then managing the calls and managing the showing. But those are just steps within the process. And so, any questions about that? Cool. Christina joined us. I see you, lady. What's up? What's up? Lee Jones is in the house. I see you guys. The 3 of you aren't showing up on my screen. I can't see your beautiful faces. So if you could join us, that would be much appreciated. But that's great stuff. That's great stuff. We don't often talk about the backside, and that's a good problem to have, that we get to talk about that, because that means you're doing deals. So Josh, congratulations, man. Yeah, go ahead.
I do have a question. I've seen another guy that does a fair amount of wholesaling, because I see his disposition posts in a group I'm in, and his says that his assignment fee is going to be revealed at closing. Is that something? Is there a way to do that to where they, because right now I'm giving. Let's back up. Right now, when I do an assignment, I'm giving them 24 hours to review the contract. Is that something that you recommend, first of all? And then second of all, is there a way to do all this that they don't even see my assignment fee until closing somehow?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we don't worry about that in our company, to be honest with you. It's like, if you're mad at me for making money, when you are able to make money, then you're not serious about buying the deal. That's kind of the no big deal attitude that I have. But I do understand the logic behind it. Like, some people don't want to offend their buyers. Like, personally, if your buyer gets offended, I wouldn't want to work with them. But I mean, if you put on the assignment, when you have them sign it, you just leave what your assignment fee is blank. And in the marketing, you state that, they're going to see it on the HUD. But I'd be damned and pretty upset if they got all the way through the deal, tied up your property, and then, oh, you're making 75 grand. Yeah, I'm not paying what you want. I'm not paying what we agreed, and they back out or they try to renegotiate with you. I'd be pretty upset. So I'm pretty upfront from the very beginning. Like, hey, I'm making 75K on this. A perfect example, actually. Here it is, right here. This deal here, we just closed this on Monday. I split the assignment fee between two companies, right? We made $25,000 on this deal. Well, my buyer got kind of upset. It's like, man, you couldn't come down. It's like, bro, you bid yourself up and wanted the deal. You bid it, you wanted the deal, and I've got somebody else that's willing to pay that or a little bit less. But if you want to renegotiate with me, I won't take any less than this. And we were making like 32 on it originally. So we came down, but I wasn't willing to come down any less than what my last highest offer was because they already tied up my property. And be honest with you, I would never work with this buyer again. It pissed me off. But I understand they feel some kind of way and they got in their feelings and they want to get a good deal too. So I want it to be a win-win. We're both making money. And so I'm flexible on that, but I'm not going to go down any less than the last guy that they won over, because now I have to remarket and hopefully that guy's money is not tied up anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. What about the 24 hours to review the original contract?
So that's an interesting concept, right? So they are, at the end of the day, your end buyer has every right to review the contract at any time because they have to adhere to the contract. They're only adhering to the contract that you're assigning. Your assignment contract is simply stating that you, the buyer, are adhering to my original contract. That's really what it's saying, and you're paying the difference thereof. And so 24 hours, I mean, we just don't talk about it. We just don't talk about it. So if you give them that time limit, in my opinion, I believe that it opens Pandora's box and it says, hey, if you want to look at the contract, you got to do it now. And if you don't do 24 hours, guess what? The odds of them thinking about it are slim to none. I wouldn't put that in there. I don't have it in our assignment that, you know, you got 24 hours to review the contract. I just don't do that because technically they have the right up until the day that they close to adhere to that contract.
I guess my question would be, if I was a buyer, why would I agree to take on the terms of somebody else's contract that I haven't read?
And you're a little smarter than most, my friend. You'd be surprised. Most buyers don't. Most buyers don't.
Yeah, but that seems crazy to me.
I don't disagree with you. If the 2 or 3 that I have bought personally that were wholesale deals that I bought, actually, absolutely, I looked at the contract.
Yeah.
But we're part of the 1%, bro. That's why we are who we are, man. We're getting results, right? Like, it's just thinking differently. Most buyers don't think that way. They think, oh, I looked at this property, I ran the numbers, I'm getting a good deal, let's do it. And that's all they look at. So putting that in the contract, you know, hey, you have 24 hours to review the contract, that just gives them one more possibility to think about, oh, I better go look at that contract. And if they see something they don't like and they have their attorney review it, because now you guys, you know, if you're using my contract anyways, you've got, in my opinion, the best real estate attorney. Jeff Watson wrote that thing. You know, they might be wondering, what does this mean? And now they're asking questions and it just delays the process. So
sorry to keep going back and forth on this, but just
you're good.
Back a little bit. Let's say I don't give them any time to review that. And I assign it to them. They put their earnest money at the title company, I mean, then they see something in the contract they don't like. Am I not more at risk because now they have every right to back out, and I didn't give them a chance to review it to kind of get that out of the way up front. Oh, I don't like these terms.
My opinion, if they chose to put their non-refundable, because you keep saying earnest money, I don't do earnest money. If they chose to put their non-refundable money down, knowing that it's non-refundable, and they back out, you get to keep the money.
Yeah.
Because in your marketing, you're saying do your own due diligence.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
No.
Yeah. All right.
You and I being men of God, we have a little bit different feelings on some of those things, right? I have to know that like God has given me this ability as a vehicle to fund my mission. And so it's bigger than me. I have to hold them accountable. You put the non-refundable, it says non-refundable deposit. And now you want to look at the contract and get second thoughts, probably shouldn't have put non-refundable money down. That's kind of the way I look at it.
All right,
what's that?
All right, man, that's good. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you, brother. Janice, Barack, Nick, Ben, Alessandro, thank you guys for jumping in. You guys should click the link and jump in with us live. This is fire stuff. Minion, I see you, bro. Thanks for jumping in. It's 5:30. That's some good stuff right there. Lee Jones has got a question, I can tell.
What's up, y'all?
What's up, Minion?
Nothing, man. Getting after it.
Flipping?
Flipping my wig. That's what I'm flipping.
Yeah, I heard. What you working on, man?
Y'all want to see? I give you 15, 20 seconds.
Let's go, bro.
Hey, I don't know how good the internet gonna be because my neighbor let me use his because I don't get any signal. But how I flip this camera around?
Do it there.
Oh, okay. So this is a property that we
stay right there and stay in the doorway.
Okay, can you still see me and hear me?
Yeah, right there. I wouldn't go much further than that because you cut out earlier the first time.
Hey, do me a favor, open that door. So basically, somebody did a lot of this with a hammer all through the house. So I think there's like, I probably did maybe somewhere close to like 40 to 50 of those. Cause it was, two people are going separate ways and she decided she was gonna leave her mark on the house. So I guess y'all can see all that repair going on.
And also 3 layers of wallpaper there.
Yeah,
before.
that was the wallpaper up there.
1952 call. They want their apples back.
Nah, they can have that ish. This has been, it's been a learning experience, man. We're actually moving quite fast. Just had the AC guys over here. That was a nice kicking in the butt bill, but we got AC, so. Good house, 10 years old, or 10 years young, but yeah, that's it. So tomorrow I will be priming it, and Sunday morning I'll be painting.
Love it.
So,
how much your AC run you?
Damn good, considering the $600 I just spent.
Oh, you just got it repaired? You didn't put a new one in?
No, and then we may still have to do that because there's a leak in the lines, but they put a sealant in it, and I think it's gonna be okay.
Well, you fussing about $600. Try $7,000 to put a new one in, man.
Hey man, can I get a little bit of good luck today? Because I actually need it. Okay. He already warned me that I might be spending $7,000, so we're going with the ceiling first.
There you go.
Somebody looking out for me. Trust
Well,
me.
we'll hope that works for you.
Go with the Band-Aid, get it on the market, sell it. I love it. I love it. Good stuff today. Good stuff. Barack, appreciate you. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Non-refundable earnest money deposit is key in today's market for sure. He didn't do non-refundables 3 years ago with cash buyers. Earnest money, yeah. Man, you guys are watching this. There's a link posted down below. Feel free to jump in here. Any questions you guys have, I want to answer to the best of my ability. As of Monday, I've closed 7,348 transactions, so I've done a few deals, and I'd love to help you as much as I can. So if you guys don't have a question, I would like to do some role playing, because I think everybody needs to always work on how and what they say. But I'm curious, Wade, Christina, Kazim, Vic, Lee Jones, Bernie, Minion, how can I help you guys today, man?
Let me see.
You can help me by telling me how the hell to run the searches on McLennan County CAD or the county office. It's like, what the hell?
You know dang well, Wade, I'm going over here and looking at it right now. You said McLaren?
McLennan County, Waco.
Oh,
It's so freaking stupid, dude. It's seriously, what in the hell are they? I don't even know what the fields are. There's my name. You put the name in, and it's like, yeah, no, that doesn't work. I mean, other counties you can typically search for like a particular type of instrument. I don't see where in the hell you even do that.
Did you go in record searches?
I went in. Let's see.
County clerk or district? You went in county?
That's what McLennan County looks like. A whole lot of garbage.
Yeah, that's
It's
exactly what I just pulled up. I'm like,
You know,
holy-
it's like, and you try and go into the OPR. It's like, okay, so you go to an OPR. It's like, okay, so where's the affidavits of heirship?
Yeah, they make that stuff hard on purpose, man. Every single county is different. And I've got a few counties that look like this. I'm like, how do you navigate this?
Yeah, I mean, is the name supposed to be the type of the instrument, or the name supposed to be the person that it's affiliated with? And then it's like grantor, grantee. That's great. That's understandable when you're talking about a deed or selling something. But it's like, what if I just want to find a probate? So talk to your whiz kids there that are in your shop and see what they can figure that out for us.
So I just went to death record, for example,
Yeah.
and you can put, it's asking me for, search all types. You can do the filing date or the date of death.
I don't know when the hell they died. So like,
Yeah, that's a cluster. I would just call your county. I mean, we could sit here all day. I would call the county and say specifically like, hey, I'm trying to do a public record search and this is what I'm looking for. How do I do that on your system?
okay,
That's
appreciate it.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of. That's a cluster. I see what you're saying. Even on the advanced is actually less than the basic. You could do on the advanced, you could do the legal description. So you could do like a subdivision. You could search by subdivision. You went by like lot or block. So like block, let's just say block 23. I don't know. Yeah, so I just did block 23. I didn't know if it was a block, and it pulled up everything. There's 2,800 items found. And these all, let me show you my screen real quick. So you can see this shows all the abandonment, abstracts, assessments, judgments, affidavit of heirships right there. There's 2,800 items. And basically what I did was I did the end date here. I went advanced and I searched the block. So if you wanted to search a particular subdivision, you could just do the block. So like block 23, 24, 25, and it's going to pull up all of those records. So on block 23, since that subdivision's been recorded on file, there's been those 2,800 records.
So how do you search for just the documents for abandonment?
Again, I don't know specifics. I'm just telling you what I did because I've never searched that county. I would imagine if you did death records, or no, I mean, yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that because every county is different. But I did see that you could search by block. I mean, you're looking at 2,800 leads there, but those are any and all records on that particular block. That's the only thing that I've seen. He's calling right now. I love it. Get him, Wade. Get him. Oh, he just called Vic. I see what happened there. Kazim, your head is spinning. I could tell. You had a long day, man.
I've had a long day, man. I'm looking forward to catching a power nap and, doing some prospecting after this call.
There you go, man. Take a little power nap. I like it. I like it. Good news is you being on the East Coast, it's still only 5:40 here. So you can take a nap and you still got 2-3 hours to call over here, brother.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Christina, what you thinking, lady? You seem pretty peaceful today. I like it. I like it. What are you working on?
What am I working on?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. I've been staying on schedule with the schedules that, you told me to be accountable and start doing a full day of work. So I've been working on my schedule, doing that. And then I actually cold called for like an hour and 20 minutes. I was really proud of my attention span on that one.
That's a huge win, lady. That's more than enough. You do an hour a day, you'll be fine.
It is. I was like all like excited and happy. And I talked to a couple people actually, but they had already sold the home. So, but it was nice to like hear somebody on the other end of the phone.
That's great, lady. And if they've already sold, that means you've got a great list. You just need to find the one or two that need to sell still that haven't sold yet.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was proud of myself. I was like, oh my gosh, an hour and so many minutes has passed. So I was proud of myself.
I love it. And you should be. I'm proud of you too, lady. I'm proud of you too. Good for you.
Thank you.
Minion, I'm muting you. I is loud. Love you guys. All right. Any questions? This is Q&A. It's Thursday. It's your call. We got about 10 minutes left. If there's no questions, I say we play Stump the Coach. Who wants to play Stump the Coach?
Man, I waited for the coach to call me back and he never did, man. God.
Got him. I'm calling you right after this call, bro, because you know what? You're absolutely right. That's my fault, and I apologize. Actually, yeah, the reason why I didn't call you, bro, was because it was no big deal, and I talked to our mutual friend, Chico.
Oh, okay. I was hooping anyway, so I wouldn't answer.
But I talked to him anyway, so I'll still call you as soon as we get off of here, bro.
Okay, bet.
All right, bet. You crack me up, man. All right. Let's play Stump the Coach. We got 9 minutes. Who wants to go?
Stump the coach?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on real quick. Christina, you're on mute if you're talking, lady.
I was asking Tim for some feedback on Let's Stump Bryce.
Oh. Big Tim, come on, man. So was that you calling? stock market's going to do tomorrow.
Oh, Tim said, what do you think the stock market's going to do tomorrow?
Oh, I don't know. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
No, it doesn't.
Didn't everybody buy Facebook on the bounce at 150? Come on.
I know,
Like,
right?
what, 230 now?
I know. Wade, was that called? Did you call the county? Is that what you were doing, or was that just ironic or coincidence?
No. It was a repair guy.
Oh, right on. Right on.
So
Let's play Stump the Coach, bro. Let's do it. Ring, ring.
who's playing? Because Zim or me?
Oh, I thought you volunteered.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh. Ring. You're calling me?
I'm calling you.
Okay. Hello.
Hey, this is Bryce. How are you?
This is who?
This is Bryce, and you are?
This is Wade. What can I help you with?
Great. Wade, hey, the reason I'm calling simple. My partners and I buy houses, and I'm looking for a few in your neighborhood. If I made you a fair offer that made sense, would you sell me your house today?
Sure. $1 million.
$1 million. Nice. Where the heck did you get that number?
Sounds like a good number for retirement.
Definitely. Where are you going to go when you retire?
Ojos del Toro, Panama.
Panama. Wow, that's a
Got my
beautiful
ass in the
place.
sand
Have you been
and
there before?
my toes in the water.
I like it. I like it. You going to take any family with you, or are you going to retire and just leave them all behind?
It's called retirement.
It's open to interpretation, right?
Correct. Yeah. What can I help you with?
Yeah, no, like I said, Wade, I'm definitely serious. And if you're serious about selling, I'm serious about buying. My partners and I are looking for a couple properties in your neighborhood. So realistically, at the end of the day, if I made you a fair offer that made sense, would you sell me your house today?
Maybe.
Okay. I
Maybe.
appreciate that. Is that because you're really close to retirement, or just been thinking about it a while?
No, we've been thinking about moving out to the country.
Oh, wow. What about the country gets you excited?
No people.
No people. The quarantine probably helps solidify that, right?
Absolutely.
I like it. I like it. It's awfully quiet. Do you work from home anyways, as it is?
Kind of semi-retired.
Oh, yeah. What kind of work do you do?
Honeydews.
Honeydews. You got one of those too. Nice. How long have you been married?
Honeydews and a little day trading.
Honeydews and some day trading. Man, tell me about that. Anything I should be looking at anytime soon?
You probably do better in Vegas.
Oh man, I don't know about that. Why do you say that?
This market's pretty rough.
Yeah. What makes it so challenging? I'm curious because I don't know much about that kind of thing.
Uncertainty, company earnings.
Mm.
They plan on particular earnings, and then the earnings don't come through. Kind of is what it is. It's a guessing game. Unless you're one of the congressmen and you get inside information on trading.
Now we're talking politics. I know nothing about that. I was once told we don't talk about politics or religion, and so I'm gonna leave that at the door. Is that fair?
It sounds like a plan to me.
Meantime, sounds like you've got some pretty decent tips and had some success over the years. So what's the biggest win that you've had in your day trading?
I put when Maytag got bought out.
Wow. Tell me about that.
About $25 a share.
And what'd you go in for?
Shares.
You cut out, Wade. I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
25 a share with 1,000 shares. 10 puts.
So what did you go into it for?
Oh, that's the 25 a share. That's the spread.
That's the spread. That's not a bad spread. Wife was pretty happy with you on that payday, huh?
Yeah. Car.
Oh, you bought her a new car? Nice. What'd you get her?
Acura.
Acura. Is it one of the grocery getters like the SUVs, or is it a nice little sports car?
Little sports car. Kids are gone. They're done.
All the kids are gone. How many kiddos you guys have?
None in the house now.
Sounds like a good problem to have. They're all grown up and left, huh?
Yes, sir.
You can't wait till retirement. I like it. I like it. I got to ask, if you're still married, you've got kids, what's the secret?
Yes, honey.
Yes, honey. That to-do list, right? Getting the things checked off the to-do list.
Much.
I like it. I like it. Well, hey, Wade, typically people we speak to want to know what we do and how we do it. Notice, you guys, I'm going to stop right there. Notice, like, I was just having a conversation. Like, Wade tried to, like, give me a hard time at the beginning. Wade tried to kind of bucket at the beginning, but we just became friends. Like, I got interested and curious about him and what he did and what he does and who he is, right? And so that's like your biggest nugget of this whole call. If you can befriend the other person and make them comfortable to share those things by racking, simply acknowledging what they said and ask them a question about it, like, man, I don't know anything about day trading. Tell me about that. Whatever. Wow, tell me more. Like, that's 99% of what you got to master. And it's as simple as having a conversation. Have a conversation like you were sitting down to dinner with your guy friend or your girlfriend and asking questions. That's it. So,
and it's kind of funny that, I had a conversation with, I was doing some cold calling yesterday, and I called this older guy and asked him about selling. He's like, well, we haven't really thought about it. And, he said, well, it might be a possibility. And it kind of played off that exact same way. And that's why I kind of presented it that way, was that he's like, hey, the wife and I, we want to move out in the country. We got, we hadn't really thought about it. We kind of owe $78,000 on this thing. It needs a little bit of work. But if he was just having a conversation. He's like, if I could find a place out in the country, we'd probably do it. And so that led to the question. It's like, well, that sounds great. I mean, when you say country, what are you talking about? Are you talking a house with an acre, 2 acres, a little bit more? And he's like, well, an acre would do. I don't want anything too big, kind of thing. And I said, I'm going to put a note on here to follow up with you. And he says, absolutely. He says, I've got your name too. If we come across something, I said, so I'm going to keep my eyes and ears open. If I can find you a place out in the country, you're good to go for selling it. And he's like, absolutely. So it's like, and that's the deal. And it's just a follow-up. And it was that simple. It was ask a few questions, let him keep talking. And now I know how to solve his problem. And if he can find a place, he's going to sell.
I love that.
That's
the key. That is 100% the key. If you can effectively communicate a solution, you can do whatever you need to do. And I love that, Wade. Thank you for sharing that. And you and I both know. And so if you guys don't know and you're watching this, like, it, outside of asking those questions, now all you have to do is, like, now you go call a realtor, like, hey, what do you have out in Timbuktu in this little 5-mile radius or 20-mile radius at this, and this 3-bed, 2-bath, whatever price point. Like, I know Wade's got some good connections and relationships because of his experience, but now you get the opportunity to create this relationship and be like, hey, I've got a buyer. I'm curious, send me whatever you have, and maybe let's work a deal together. And guess what? You seem like the hero, and the realtor gets paid, or maybe you throw some marketing if you wanted to go that route. I wouldn't suggest it, but you talk to a realtor, and in that particular area that they want, now you got a deal on both sides. You've got, fees from the realtor where they can help you out, if they decide to do that, whatever you negotiate. And then you've got a potential seller, and heck, maybe the realtor helps bring you the buyer, and you make money 3 ways, right? Like, boom, boom, boom. That's a great problem to have. So thank you.
I'm actually trying to make money on both sides of it, because I've got the county tax delinquent list.
There you go. I knew that. I knew you did. Wade, I've got a question that I know that you and I have talked about this in the past, maybe a year ago or so when you first started working together, when we started working together. So I'd like to get you guys' opinion first. So if you're watching this and you're not a part of the REI Results Academy and you're watching this, once a month we go live with everybody available, able to jump in. That's you included. I don't have anybody on here that's not in the academy. So these guys are all experienced or just getting started or going to scale, all different journeys, but they're all right there in the trenches with you and also in our private group to where they uplift and sharpen each other and hold each other accountable. But I've got a question in the chat thread here on the live stream, and it says, can you get a deal from abandoned houses owned by the city? And the simple answer is absolutely. It's a little bit more difficult. It's a little bit more networking, but absolutely you can. And every state, county, and city is different in how they communicate property and manage property. But for example, if you're here in Dallas County, I know that Cody is the Dallas County city attorney, the city attorney of Dallas that represents the city to the county, and he handles all the abandonment and liens and manages those what's the word I'm looking for? The probate stuff, you know, whether it's liens and foreclosures. He's the Dallas city attorney, and I've built a great relationship with him. And so whenever I have a problem, or let's say I'm working on a project that happens to go and the city owns it, I get those properties first if it's something that is available. And so, yes, sometimes the cities do foreclose and own the property. Most of the time that what I've seen, they tend to have foreclosed and not sold it to somebody else and kept it because they're probably looking long-term for some development, but that's going to come down to the relationship. But Wade, I remember maybe a year and a half ago when you and I first started working together, maybe it was you and Vic or you and Chris were talking, but you've dealt with this before. I don't deal with this a lot. I've had it happen once or twice over the last 7.5 years. Maybe shed your thoughts on that. Abandoned city-owned properties.
That was one that Callie and I were looking at. That the lady was like 60 some years old. Texas won't kick them out of the house, and they just keep accumulating the taxes, and it keeps going on and on and on and on and on. And it had like 65 grand in taxes. And, the property wasn't worth what the amount of taxes were, and the city was doing it. We were talking about, trying to deal with.
That's what it was. It was you and Callie.
That. But it's also, when you're dealing with that situation, there's also that caveat that you got to be careful because, Texas, if they take a property for taxes, they've got 2 years to remedy that. They can come back and fix that. So you can't buy a property from the city. I don't think a city will release anything prior to 2 years for that period.
Mm. And again, to answer your question that's specific to Texas, and I'm not familiar with it. I've dealt with a couple of small things, but thank you, Wade. I remembered something about that. I didn't remember a whole lot. I don't deal with a lot of city-owned properties. I've dealt with some, city liens and things like that, but that's the easy stuff compared to the city-owned stuff. And every state and every city and county is going to be different. So that would just be a conversation that you need to have with your local municipality's attorney that represents the city or the county that handles those types of things. And so, and I'm not an attorney for disclosure purposes, but yeah, Barack, man, I appreciate you for asking the question. It's my honor to ask or answer that. So awesome, y'all. It's 5:06. It's closing time. Does anybody need anything from me right now? No. All right. I know that I get to see a couple of you guys. Christina, I get to see you and Gazimbo tomorrow. Vic, I get to see you tomorrow. So I will see the three of you guys tomorrow. The rest of you, I love you. God bless you. Stay sharp. And we'll all see you at the top. Y'all have a good night. Take care.
You bet.